Did you like old Arnie the Donut? I'm pretty sure it's an AR test. So if you'd like to go to the AR link and log on and try to take Arnie the Donut test, if you listen to the whole story, make sure you listen to the whole story, then you can earn some AR points by listening to that story. Well, let's take a look at our spelling decoding patterns for this week. We're talking about short and long O. We've been doing the vowels, haven't we? We did it short and long A, E, I, and this week we're on the O. And so every syllable contains a vowel sound. There are multiple ways to spell the long O. Have you noticed that in almost every single vowel we've talked about, if you say the short O sound, the short E sound, the short A sound, the short I sound, it's just spelled with that letter. And it's the same with this O, like claw, ah. Short O says ah, clog. But when you think about the long vowel sounds, you can spell them different ways every time for every vowel. Well, here's the ways that you can spell a long O sound. You can spell it with just an O. We'll look at some of those. You can spell it with an OA, an OE, an OW, an OUGH, and of course we always have that vowel consonant E pattern. O, then the consonant, and then the E. So let's try to find out which one of these fit those patterns. So one says shop. Well, I hear ah. That's the short O sound, isn't it? So that's a short O sound. Shop. Doze. Oh, I hear an O. Doze. So we've got O consonant E. That's that pattern. O consonant E. Go. Ah, it's just an O, but I hear the O sound, don't you? Oh, it's just spelled with the O. Coach. I hear the O again with an OA sound pattern this time. Clog, we looked at that. That's short O. Chomp. I hear ah. That's short O. Roll. I hear the long O, and it's got an O right there by itself. Groan. I hear long O, and it's got the OW pattern, doesn't it? This word sounds about like it. Groan. OA pattern. What's the difference between these two words? Groan, that means you're growing up. Groan is like, oh man, I don't want to do math today. Groan and groan. Two different vowel patterns to make the O sound. Focus. I hear the O sound, made with an O, long O sound, I should say. Own. OW pattern. Load. OA pattern. Zero. O. Just O by itself pattern. Trot. That doesn't say O, does it? It's the short O sound. Ah. Alone. There's the O, but it's got the consonant E, so it's this pattern. O consonant E for the long O. Oat. OA pattern. Roten. Wait, that's not roten, is it? What's that word? It's rotten. It's the short O. Ah. Cone. Long O. O consonant E. Elbow. OW. Float. OA. Cloak. OA. Clock. Ah, that's a short O. Sofa. O by itself. Choke. O consonant E pattern. Below. OW pattern. Let's look at these three sentences here. No, one sentence, sorry. The rose bush froze on that cold, snowy day. So let's look for the O's in this one. Rose bush. That's a long O spelled with an O by itself. Froze. O consonant E pattern. Ah. On. Short O. That cold. Long O by itself. Snowy. Long O with an OW. So there's the patterns you're going to see in your spelling words this week. Speaking of spelling words, here they are. Let me pull them all on the screen. You will want to pause the screen, pause the video rather, and write these words down. Let's say them together. Going across: block, shown, oatmeal, wrote, fellow, scold, coast, odd, locate, slope, throat, host. Oh, we know this one, don't we? Online, shock, solve, known, remote, stock, boast, globe, borrow, compose, rocket, and doctor. All right, there's your spelling words for this week. Jot them down. You'll have 2 practice assignments for them before your test on Friday.